All right, another episode of Conversate After Dark. Tay, what's up with you?
Everything's great with me. What's going on with you?
It's all good. It's all good. Tell people they can find us.
You can find us at Conversate After Dark everywhere. And if you would like to be a guest on the show or you have a topic you want us to cover, you can reach us at CVAD the podcast at gmail.com.
That's right. Go to our website, www.conversateafterdark.com. Listen to our past episodes and tell a friend about the show. So, Tay, let's go ahead and kick it off with the icebreaker.
All right. What is the nastiest rumor that has ever been spread about you?
Nastiest rumor. So I'm assuming like we talking about like sex, right? And that
It could be anything. But I took nastiest to mean maybe the worst.
okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
So it can be either one.
so in college, I'm in a fraternity and my fraternity and another fraternity we did not get along and whenever guys in college and most generally when guys are beefing whatever, unless it's like a gang situation, most time when guys have beef it's usually over a woman, right? And you know my fraternity and this particular fraternity we had beef for years, and it started with some guys that were in school way before I even played, way before I even got to college, and it just trickled down. Like we don't like them, they don't like us. So some things happened, and we were at a function for one of the sororities, your sorority, and we started a fight broke out,
Mm.
and people were running and I happened to be one of the people that was chasing some folks, and some guys got in the car with this girl, and we were trying to get them to get out the car so we could finish fighting, and another person that's in my fraternity ended up throwing a brick through this girl's window. Very stupid, very stupid. Could have really harmed somebody, hurt somebody, whatever. So all people saw, because I'm 6'3" and they couldn't see, around me. All people saw was Marv's there acting a fool because I was young and acting dumb, and the window gets broke. So it started off with I'm the one who threw the big ass break through the window, and I didn't. Then it like morphed into I punched through the window with my hand, like broke the glass with my hand, and it ended up being like real bad. Like I had to like duck the police for like, a good long time because they were looking for me. So it was pretty bad. That was probably, so I was complicit, but like the details kind of got changed. So it
Hmm.
rumor, and then for a long time, like several people on campus did not fuck with me because they were just like, dude, like, why would you do that? And you know, I was able to sit down and clear my name with a few people, but I'm sure there's some folks that's just like, yeah, this dude's an ignorant ass. So that's probably the nastiest. And then other than that, we keep it like relationship, sexual wise. Believe it or not, I've actually had chicks lie and say they had sex with me.
Really?
Yeah, this is high school. And I was just
Mm.
like, I didn't have sex with her. And I'm thinking like, why you lie? You could have just called me to come over. We could have actually did it. What you lying? What you
Yeah,
lying?
that's odd for it to go that way. I've heard of it going the other way many
Yeah,
times, but
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Like, what you lying for? And I was like, are you sure she said that? And they was like, yeah, she said it in the front of the whole party. You had sex with her. And I was just like, okay. Don't even have her phone number. Don't know where she lived, but she told people I hit it. So does that count on my body count?
No. If it actually didn't it happen, no, it does not count.
Because dudes are stretch it. Dudes are stretch. Like me and my boy talked about this, and technically it's not lying on your dick, but it's kind of is. It's like, hey, if I make out, if I touch the pussy or whatever, suck on titties, I fucked. Because like if I had really tried, I probably could have fucked. So I fucked.
Maybe, but no, that's lying.
I hit. So we stretch it in the opposite way. Y'all do the shit where y'all be like, uh, does it really count if we have sex in high school? Like that number falls off the body count, right? No, it's that
It's
forever.
just like it's just like a credit report. After 7 years, especially if it was bad, it falls off. No,
I
I'm just
know
joking.
multiple women to be like, you don't count sex you had in high school. Like, yes, we did, fast ass. Yes, you did. Now, junior high I might give you a benefit of the doubt. Do you know, Tay, there was people that was smashing in junior high?
Yes, I yes.
But no, look, from
But
our generation, it ain't shit
yes,
now for this generation, but from our generation, like,
yes. I know of people. Yes. Matter of fact, I remember leaving junior high school and the next year in ninth grade. It could have been a rumor, but I don't think it was. Matter of fact, I know it wasn't because my grandparents lived in the neighborhood of one girl, and I could see evidence in the yard of a kid that would be around that age. But there was a group of girls that all got pregnant around the same time, and it was when we left eighth grade. Yes, and then I know of the like our neighboring junior high school. It was the same thing. Like I would hear stuff about people I knew who were at that school. Yes, it happens.
damn. I listen,
And then my cousin, who's a couple years older than me, went to one of the other school, and I knew what he was doing. So,
I think it's more so like, 'cause I had to talk about this with somebody, and I think it's like the household you grow up in, the neighborhood you grow up in, because a lot of that, when you have time to have sex, like
after school.
I feel like if you they was having it at school,
Well, I'm thinking of one story. Yes, I know of that.
yeah,
Yes, people got
yeah,
caught at school.
people doing that stuff, but like I wasn't left unsupervised long enough to really, really get down like that. And the times that I wasn't really bold enough to even try it. I was scary. Like I was scary. Like I probably could have lost my virginity probably like 15, 16. I started driving at 15. I probably could have lost it at 15 if I had really wanted to, but I was scary. So
Hmm.
17, summer going into senior year, I finally, instead of just sticking my toe in, I jumped all the way in. And like as soon as the first girl that I ended up losing my virginity to, promised Tay. And I ain't like no playing, no pimp, nothing, but I promised. Like that week, I hit four other chicks because I wasn't scared no more, right? I wasn't scared
Yeah,
to do it. And yeah, so is that late, 17?
not compared to me. But if I think of most of the guys that I know, I would say it was probably late, but I think teenagers shouldn't be having sex anyway, but that's just me.
Yeah, yeah, you definitely taking a risk
Yeah.
because you don't know shit.
Right. And then it does depend on your family life. Because my mother lived in a place where, especially if it was traffic, it could take her an hour or two, depending on traffic, to go to work and to come home. So I had a lot of free time. I was just a good girl. I didn't want, yeah, my whole goal was not be a teenage or unwed mother. So that was my focus.
Yeah, I got you. So what was the nastiest rumor that started about you?
Nastiest rumor, of course, it has to do with sex, was that I was pretty much ran through a whole crew of people, which was not true. And I'm the type of person, we talked about this last week. I don't care because it wasn't true. But what pissed me off was that they brought in a friend of mine into the conversation. They were saying that when she and I were together, that's what we were doing with
How old were y'all
this
when
one
this
group.
when this
This
rumor?
was like a few years ago, so we too old for these daggone rumors. Which is another reason why I wasn't like if it was just if the rumor had just been about me, I wouldn't care because we too old to be doing rumors like that. That's just dumb. But the fact that they brought somebody else into the rumor, who I mean, come on, that's just if you
Was it a chick or a dude that started the rumor?
it was a chick, so
Because
of course she was trying to get with somebody. So that's what I'm saying. If it was just
that's
because
how
of me,
that's how it happens. Because
yeah,
dudes will start, dudes don't really start rumors. Dudes will kind of hate. they'll find a way to hate or
Hmm.
women will start like a nasty rumor. Uh,
Yeah.
try to, especially if they like a guy that you may not even really be paying attention to, but he's paying attention to you and
Hmm.
he knows it. So how am I going to eliminate the competition? I'm gonna make it to where he's not interested in her no more. And it ain't gonna work out for you because he ain't gonna want you. Because if he wanted you, he would have went after you, right? So you have
Yes.
on salt in the game. And I've seen it happen. I've seen people start nasty rumors talking about women having STDs and being ran through or whatever. And this happened when we were like college, much younger, where a rumor like that could really affect somebody.
Hmm.
Um,
Right.
and it's messed up.
Yeah.
It's messed
But
up.
like I said, because I could tell what the motive was. If it had just been about me, I wouldn't care. Whatever. It's just the fact that she brought an innocent person into the rumor with me. That was like, what does
So
she got to do with it?
how did you find out that this person said it? Somebody you was
The
cool?
guy told me because
Damn,
he was asking me if it was true.
damn.
It is what it is.
Yeah, dudes a hate though. Dudes a hate too. I don't think they'll go through that extreme because if it's bad if a woman does it, but if you a dude that does that, you really bitch made.
Yeah, it is.
It's really bitch made to be hating on a dude, telling another dude's business, lying on a dude. Like, and here's the thing, just like we talked about with the woman, if you hating on a dude, she ain't gonna be 9 times out of 10. Sometimes some women are dumb. But 9 times out of 10, she ain't gonna want to get with you, knowing that you have that type of character in you.
Right.
That's. Have I been hated on by? Yeah, I've definitely been hated on. I've been caught blocked, all kind of old shit. I'm just like, that. How you live with yourself?
Right.
How you live with yourself, man? If she wanted, she would have you, man. So it's a mess, man. It's a mess.
Yeah.
But wow, so this happened, and did you ever confront her about it?
No, just somebody who's insignificant in my life, so it doesn't matter.
Hmm. Was there a hint of truth to it?
No.
Maybe your girl was getting it in.
Now, like
Guilt
I
by
said, I used to be very flirtatious, so maybe she saw some stuff and assumed some things. Although I think she may have heard it from. I think somebody else started it. I can't, but I'm not positive about that. But she was the one spreading it. But anyway, I used to be very flirtatious. So I mean, people can assume what they want to assume, whatever. But no, no.
why you
But
stop being flirtatious.
for many reasons. One, when I do it, it's just fun. I just like to flirt. And I'm not, I mean, I realize that everybody doesn't think like me. A lot of people, hey, what's up? No, I was just joking. I had too many of those instances where I almost got caught up in something that I didn't want to be in. So,
Yeah. Yeah. But here's
yeah.
the thing though. You know, in the words of the great Negro poet Robert Kelly, I'm a flirt. And I really don't think I can help it. It's like one of those things I get like from my dad and my uncle and the men in my family. And I find that I had to like really like stop, Marvin. Like stop. Because it don't matter the place, don't matter the time. Uh, I fuck around, end up getting the Me Too charge at work because I'm flirting or whatever, church. It don't matter. And I really have to like subconsciously be like, hey, yo, like chill out, stop. Because when you're good at it, it comes natural, it's easy,
Yeah.
and all they gotta do is just like keep smiling or somebody on the sideline egging it on or whatever, and I'll just keep going and keep going. It happened this weekend, actually, and it's hard. It's hard when the game's in you, Tay.
Funny thing, I get that from my father too.
So speaking of stuff you get from your parents,
Hmm.
we have to talk about like things that are passed down, like things we talked about something fun, like flirting, whatever. And then, you know, you can get heavy with it and people talk about, you know, generational trauma, generational curses, things of that nature. And that impacts our relationships.
Mhm.
And I remember when I proposed to my ex-wife, um, when I got married, it was really eye-opening because I think I talked about it on the show before. I my family wasn't perfect by any stretch of imagination, but it was always a house full of love, and you never really felt unsafe. And when I got out into like good adulthood, like well out of college, and you started, you know, interacting with other people, and you start seeing like the upbringing is different than yours. And I remember proposing to my ex-wife, joyous occasion. My mom was there, her mom was there. I had already asked her dad, you know, permission, like, hey, you mind, you know, so it was cool. I did it on Christmas Day. And she told me that her mom pulled her to the side and was like, hey, you need to break the cycle. And I was like, what's she talking about? She was like, she told me I need to break the cycle of women in our family that get divorced. And I was like, damn. And I thought about that. I said, damn, that's a lot of pressure to put on somebody, especially if you're not telling them how to do it and and,
Mhm.
and giving them good advice. So I looked at it, and at the time, I was like, "Yeah, shit, that sucks for you." I mean, I ain't really got that problem, but looking back at it now, I definitely have some shit that has been passed down to me, and
Mhm.
I need to address it. Have you ever thought about that in terms of your relationships, or like how your upbringing and how your parents, not even your parents, your grandparents, uncles, whatever, how they interacted with people and how that may have impacted how you interact with people?
Oh, definitely. I've I don't know if I've said this on this podcast before, but I was extremely commitment phobic growing up, and I'm sure that had to do with a lot of the things that I probably saw when I was younger. You know, just different things that I saw through family members. Not necessarily the ones closest to me, but just everybody around me, church members,
Mhm.
family, friends, everybody. But I know I can definitely say, and I just said this earlier, that my whole goal was to not be a teenage or a single mother because that, I mean, my grandmother was a teenage mother, and even though my mother and my aunts weren't teenagers, um, I say all but one uh got pregnant out of wedlock. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't I just wanted something different because I grew up with the single mother. So and my mother wasn't like I hear people say this thing of I didn't know we were poor because you know mama made everything work. Yeah, my mother did, but she was also honest. So I knew, you know, we were struggling. And I just never wanted that. So and I would say from my grandparents down, I do think my generation, the first cousins, I do think we broke that early pregnancy um, cycle.
Yeah. Yeah. How about this? And you answer this how you want to. I think there's a difference. Some women will say that they are single. I'm a single mother, and that's not necessarily true. You're an unwed mother because the father is involved in the child's life. He's there assisting you. Y'all are successfully co-parenting. So I think the single mom, where you know, when I think of single mom, I think of like, hey, listen, you know, I'm getting minimal help or what have you, trying to make it happen or you know, trying to make things work. Versus you know, unwed meaning like, yo, no, you know, your children got a good dad. He's paying child support. He come pick them up all the time. You can't really lump you into the single moms. What do you think about when people say that?
Um, I get what they mean by that. I do think it's kind of semantics because she still may be single. So that would make her a single mother. So I do think it's semantics. I just think you if you're gonna have those conversations or those thoughts, it takes a conversation to get clarity on what someone means. I mean, like my mother was a single mother because she was single, but my father was active in my life. Now I won't say he was always the perfect dad in that,
Yeah,
but
happen.
but you know he was active. So
Yeah,
you know, we were struggling, and I have always thought, even back when I was a kid, that my father could have done more. I really think that.
I get it.
But he lived in another state, so that put another you know, monkey wrench in the plans of him being as active as he could be. But he was there, you
Yeah.
know.
I guess I just, then we'll get off of that. I just, it always kind of rubs me the wrong way when certain women try to put themselves in that situation. Like, no, there are women who are actual single moms. If they don't do it, it ain't gonna happen. If they not
Hmm.
picking the child up, if they not, if they don't have help from mom or auntie or whatever, it ain't gonna happen. Versus somebody who has somebody who is actively there, who
Hmm.
in my mind, single moms have to be on 24/7, 365, 52 weeks out of the year, versus unwed, you sharing the responsibilities. But
Yeah, yeah.
I'll say for me, I didn't realize till like maybe a couple years ago that definitely, and I don't know if it's necessarily, yeah, it's a curse. And it kind of goes along with that being flirtatious, but the men in my family are womanizers, and cheating has been a thing, and it's definitely I've definitely been a part of that, and I didn't break that curse. I'm trying to break it now, by any relationship that I get into. I've made a commitment to be 100% honest about my perspective on relationships and how I want to approach and treat the woman that I'm with. But as a young man, I remember a situation happening and me confronting my dad and me saying, I'll never be like that. Real dramatic, like on a, after school special, I'll never be like you and all that old shit. I was just like him. And I don't think that I think I talked about on the show before, like having good mentors, somebody that, would tell you like, hey, do this. I've had great mentors who have pushed me and encouraged me to be a good man in the community and by my family and trying to make everybody proud. But I can't say that I've had the best mentors when it comes to like treating a woman. Um, some would say that even if you're like you're doing everything, you're paying the bills, you make her happy, you're not beating on her, she doesn't want for anything, I'm doing my job, I'm a good man. But then some people would say, like, are you really a good man if you're cheating on her though? I would say, 80% still a passing grade. But I understand what they're saying, but
Yeah, yeah.
that's
I
definitely
get
something that I failed at. And I look at a lot of the men in my family, and we all have just been that way. And it's been a joke, It's like my female cousins, they'd be like, what you up to? And then they'd be like, oh, you at Banks. Yeah, you at Banks, all right. And it's kind of like it's one of those things that we do. And it's turned into a joke because obviously, they family, so they ain't concerned about what we do. But it's not something that we should be proud of, though.
yeah, I get that. Yeah, I was thinking about the is somebody a good man even if they cheat? I
He's a
I
good
think
man, Savannah.
I think there's I can't say grace, but when it comes to the guys that I've been in relationships with in the past, even if they have cheated, I can honestly say they were good men. They just may not have been good in relationships. If you get what I'm saying, like they may have been like great with friendships. They may have been great with their jobs, their hobbies, their other than the cheating part or other than the relationship part, because all of my relationships didn't end because of cheating. So other than the relationship part, they may have really been good men. They may have had good personalities, knew how to treat people, stuff like that. So I can see both sides to
Were you
that
ever tempted? So if a guy cheated on you,
comment.
it's a wrap for you, right?
Yes.
And you've never been like, well, damn, he does all these other things right. Why would I, I'm missing out because he cheated one time?
Well, from what I know, only one has I left because of the cheating, but it wasn't just I always said this, it wasn't just because of the cheating, it was because of the lies that came with the cheating.
Because that old school mentality, the women to be like, shit, look, I got a house, he take care of me, whatever. I ain't finna let her, take that away from me. So
I
they'll hold their nose and deal with it. Now, things may not be cool at home. It may be that, and we still together, y'all sleeping in separate rooms or whatever. But I'm telling you, and I think our mother's generation, because my parents are, I think, significantly older than yours, but I think your mom's generation probably still had to deal with it as well. It was somewhat of a business decision whether you were going to stay because he was cheating or not. Now, if he was like whooping your ass or something like that, yeah, you got to go. But even then, I think unfortunately some women had to make a business decision. Like, I got these kids. Um, Women weren't making good money back then. Um, you know,
yeah.
he got a woman on the other side of town, but he not. Long as he ain't dirt bagging me, like bringing nothing home, outside kids or whatever, maybe I ride it out.
And I heard that. So for the longest time, I didn't tell anybody while we weren't together anymore. So when I remember, I think it was a Mother's Day. This sticks into my head so clear when my family, like, they kept asking about him. So I just got fed up and I was like, all right, he cheated. And I remember my grandmother said, that couldn't be worked out. Like he had my family wrapped around, except for my mother, he had the rest of my family wrapped around his finger. Like he could do no wrong in their eyes. And outside of the cheating, because my grandfather's with my maternal grandfather. Let me make that straight. My maternal grandfather says he's never cheated on my grandmother. So I'm going to say it that way. Outside of that, he was a man exactly like my grandfather, which is the type of man that I have always wanted. So my family is looking at it from that end. Like he's a good man, but I couldn't get past the lies and cheating.
Mm. I don't think my mama wouldn't have covered for me. My mama would not have covered for me. And I remember one time a girlfriend of mine, we got into an argument and she stormed out crying. And my mom was in my ass about it, like you did something to her. And now my mama she wouldn't have condoned that. Now she knew that I was with multiple girls or what have you, but I don't think she wasn't too keen on me being with anybody anyway. Um, so it was just one of the things. Let's see what they got to say in the comments. So Michael says it means you can get it. Yeah, like I'm telling you, if we make out, if we do some heavy petting, I hit. Joe said, I agree, dudes hate. Mike says dirty macking, absolutely. Joe said a lot of people can't distinguish between the innocent and the real flirting. How do you distinguish though?
I don't know. Maybe because I know how I am. I don't take anyone serious until they start trying to make real plans. That to me makes it real. If no plans are coming forth, then it's just innocent flirting. We just playing.
I ain't playing. I'm not playing. I'm trying to get. Danielle said, definitely for me, I have stayed too long in relationships that were no longer beneficial to try and keep from being like my parents. Divorce. Fighting for a one-sided relationship is not healthy. Woof.
Yeah.
Boy, you said a word right there because I have definitely done that. And the crazy thing about it is once you leave that relationship and you start to heal, you'll look back and be like, what the fuck was I thinking? You
Yeah,
know, because I'm much happier, even if I'm by myself, I'm much happier as opposed to putting up with that bullshit.
I've been there.
Man. Then y'all also said my ex's mom tried to convince me to make my relationship with her son a business decision. I was not interested in hearing her speech. Mm. I think the business decision was she probably wanted you to take him off her hands. That's happened before, Tay.
Yes, I've heard of that happening too.
Mama trying to pass. Hey, listen, I got to get him up out of here. I got to get him, and let me find. I find a nice girl for you, Junior. You know, and then next thing you know, you got this mama's boy who ain't shit. You know, and you done got you a grown ass child. Mama done passed him off to you.
Hmm.
Damn, that's tough. You ever had one of them dudes?
No. Well, no, 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 no. Not whose mothers tried to convince me to say no. No.
How do you feel about mama's boys?
It depends. Because I have dated a mama's boy who loved his mother, and but he stood on his own. He could take care of himself. He could do all of that. I've never really been involved with one of the stereotypical mama's boys that I hear about, where their mother still does everything for them and they still rely on their mother and they still compare you to their mother. I've never dealt with that, and
Yeah,
I don't think I would want to, from
my,
what I
my,
hear.
my mama raised four boys, and really that don't mean nothing. But she was more so like, yo, I'm not doing shit for y'all. I'm not cooking for y'all. I'm a mama, can you iron my clothes? She said, look, I'm gonna show you one time how to iron your clothes. And if you don't iron them, you just gonna be wrinkled. And um, but me and my brothers, man, we straight like me for real. God rest her soul. I was a like straight up and down mama's boy in terms of doing anything for her.
Hmm.
But I think I appreciate my mom being the type of woman that would know her place. Like, the people have the silly social media questions like, you get in the car, who sits in the front? Your mom.
Hmm.
My mom would just go ahead and get in the back. Ride with your girlfriend. I'll go ahead and sit in the back. Uh,
Yeah.
you know, I I remember her telling me a story. I don't know if there was beef with her and my grandmother, my dad's mother, but I remember her telling me my dad was like, look, if y'all don't get along, fuck both of y'all. I'm never speaking to either one of y'all. So y'all better learn to get along. And my mom and my grandmother were super tight. And I don't know if it was because of that. I mean, my mom's obligation to my dad because my dad passed away and they were still very tight.
Mhm.
So, um, yeah, what's the opposite from like a mama's boy for women? Like, would
A
it be,
daddy's girl.
or you got a mama who is super intrusive. Cause most
Yeah.
daddy's
But
girls,
but
daddy's girls
mama's
would be
boys,
like, go ahead.
mothers tend to be that way too. So that's why I said I mean, mothers can be that way on both sides, whether it's a girl or a boy, mothers can sometimes be that way. So but the opposite of a mama's boy is a daddy's girl.
I don't know if I've ever dealt with that though. I think I mean that's why I said I like dealing with chicks who ain't got no daddy. 'Cause I like them to call me daddy in the
I
bed.
was accused of being one, but I wasn't really a daddy's girl. It's just that he didn't prove himself to be somebody whose decisions I should take serious. The guy before him, the guy that I just finished talking about, I remember when he came into my life, I had my first car. I bought my first car like not too long after I met him. And he worked on cars. He just took over. He was like, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do this. And so and just being in a relationship with him, I knew his decision making skills. So I never called my father for car stuff because he was right there. I never called my father for life stuff because he was right there, and I could see that's what I said, he was a good man. He just couldn't keep his thing to himself. But I
Yeah, Tay, you should have worked that out.
whatever. No. I
You
was
should have
gonna
worked
say
that
something mean about his brother, but I'm gonna leave that alone. But no, so the next guy, like he didn't do any of that stuff. And my thing was always to not compare. So I took him for what he showed me. He didn't show me any of that. So when it came time when I had car issues, I called my father during those times because I knew my father could answer the question. But I wasn't, but I don't consider myself a daddy's girl.
Look, was he offended by that?
Did I call my father instead of him? Yeah. And I didn't care. Step up. If it's that big of a deal to you, step up. I didn't have to ask the for guy before you to step up.
So that was a huge fight with me and my ex-wife. Um, I had mentioned that we should do something, and she's like, "No, I don't think that's a good idea. I don't want to do that," and fighting me on the decision, right? So, all right, whatever. Then maybe a week or so later, she was like, I was talking to my uncle about it, and he said, like, yeah, we should do that. So let's do that. And I said, hey man, fuck you and your uncle, man. Because you know me, I'm a man's man. I take control, I'll take responsibility if I mess up, whatever. That's what men do. But if you're gonna sit there and say, well, like, well, my uncle said we should do that, your uncle don't pay our goddamn bills. Nah, we ain't. Yeah, don't that. Ooh, that's something that'd piss a dude off quick. Now I do understand if
Hmm.
you aren't capable, then you probably could have did it without letting him know that you called your dad, Tay.
I mean, he asked.
That's a bit emasculating right there,
He asked why I did such and such. I said, because my father said that this was what I should do.
and that made him mad.
Yeah. But again, communication wasn't our biggest thing. So that was something he brought up years later when he,
Mm.
as an issue.
My dad, he taught me a lot about manhood, but he also got me in trouble too. Like I remember, like, I grew up in the Midwest, so we had basements. Y'all got basements in the East Coast?
Yes.
Okay. I live down south now, and we don't have basements. But, they converted the basement into a living area. So I had like my little bachelor pad down there. And, I told you I had a couple chicks, man. My dad, I'm downstairs chilling with a chick. Another one come over unannounced. My dad let her come downstairs. I'm like, man, what are you doing, dude? What is going on? And then I went out with this girl, and uh she's like, you want to go with me to my winter dance? I said, yeah, sure, whatever, right? I asked my pops for money. I said, Dad, I got a date, can you give me some money? I don't know if I told this on the show before, but Dad, can you give me some money so I can go on a date? So he gave me some money. I go out. Now mind you, I'm going out with generational curses. Now my dad knew I had a girlfriend,
Hmm.
also knew the girl that I was going out with was not my girlfriend. But he gave me money to go out with her, right? So I go out with her. And the day was this, man, I took her to Red Lobster. I had like maybe $30. She ordered a snow crab and shit. And even back then, that's like 20. So hell, I'm just eating Cheddar Bay biscuits. you know? So it's kind of a fucked up date. And then I come out, my girlfriend find out about it. I'm like, well, how the hell she know I went out with old girl? Because not like we had camera phones or nothing like that, and they went to different schools.
Hmm.
And I knew she didn't know none of the people that was at the school. You know how she found out, Tay?
Your father.
My dad was hanging out with her grandfather and was like, yeah, I gave Junior some money so he can go on a date. So then the grandfather was like, but you was going out on a date with Marvin. She's like, what? His daddy said he gave him some money for a date. That's my whole
That is hilarious.
that's my whole shit up. I got cussed out. Oh my goodness, man. Yeah, it was a bad deal. But yeah, that little date I went on with old girl, and then I was like, damn, I did all this and I didn't even get none. I done paid for for Red Lobster and all this old shit. And then she kind of just gave me the side hug. It was like, hey, I had a wonderful time.
That's what you get.
I was listen, being slick, it never pays off. I was supposed to go to this after prom, the same cheating on the same chick. So I was boy, everybody gonna watch this and be like, Marv ain't shit. Listen,
Mhm.
reform. This happened like 30 years ago. I'm a changed man. Same girl. I was supposed to go to prom with her, but this other chick wanted me to go to after prom with her. And my girl already said, like, we're not having sex. So don't even. But the other chick was like, I'm down. So my plan was take my girl to prom, take her home, then go to after prom with the other chick, right? So I had to wait until the other chick got out of prom, which is like what 1, 2 o'clock. So I go home, change clothes, and guess what happened, Tay? I fell asleep.
Oh.
Fell asleep. Fell asleep watching Forrest Gump. So back then I had a little hair, you know what I'm saying? So I had like a little bob. So I'm like, oh shit, I missed the whole shit. So I knew where everybody was hanging out. They would go to the pancake house, right? So I speed up to the pancake house. I'm running in. Mind you, I've been asleep in my shit. So I'm all disheveled. My hair is fucked up and everything. So it looked like I've been smashing somebody else. I ain't listen, this doing too much, end up getting up for nobody that night.
Wow, that's hilarious.
Now, something like that to you, would you give him a second date? Like you had like say, dude, this completely fucked up the date. Would you give him a second chance?
No, not like, no, not completely mess up. No. I don't know. My mind went to my worst day ever. And no, I never even talked to that dude again after that. And we worked in the same building, not for the same company, but we worked in the same building. We didn't even talk after that date.
Damn, it was that bad?
It was that bad.
Dang. So can't
Yeah.
so there's no coming back from that. You kind of hard. If they cheat, no coming back. If it's bad first sexual encounter, no coming back. Bad
I
date,
can I
no
can
coming
give you the cliff notes of why this was a bad date.
back. What happened? What happened?
I'm not even gonna tell you how it started, but he was drunk. We were going to a concert. Walking to the venue, he needs to use the bathroom. We're right there at the venue. We're like a couple blocks. He couldn't wait to get to the venue. He used the bathroom right there on the side of a building. We get into the concert. We're already late because he was drunk trying to drive and navigate. We get into the concert late. He's dancing all crazy because he gets into fights, well, arguments with people around us. Almost got me into the fight with the chick behind us because she's like, control your man. I'm like, this is a first date. I don't even know this dude like that. Then he took his jacket off and started swinging it around like a helicopter. The zipper part is hitting everybody around us. I could already tell where this was going. So I turned around to watch the concert, ignoring him because I could see what was happening. Security guard the girl, same girl he almost got me into our fight with, went to get security. They had to escort him out the place.
Damn. You ain't go with
Yes. No, I ain't go with him.
him?
No, I stayed and enjoyed the rest of the concert.
Damn.
Yes. So no, I never went out. And he was mad at me.
Because you
Oh,
went
because
there.
then because he was drunk, his car got towed because he parked somewhere he wasn't supposed to park. And he got mad at me.
Dang. So you ain't take him home?
No, no, that's a matter of fact, that was another reason why I didn't leave because I didn't want to be burdened with him and his drunken self. So I left. I walked out of the concert with everybody else. I don't know where he was. He called me while I was actually leaving. We drove separately because I had somewhere to be after the concert. He called me while I was actually just leaving the place and told me that his car got towed. I said, "Oh well, call your brother."
Damn, Tay, you cold blooded.
I mean, it was a horrible date. No. He embarrassed me. That's something you don't do to an introvert is embarrass us. That don't work. Mm-mm.
Yeah. You don't like being put on the spot.
Nope.
Mm. Yeah. Okay. Damn, so he was out there set tripping, about to get beat up, about to get y'all jumped and everything.
Yep.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad. Nah. Yeah, I mean, I fortunately I haven't had that many like I would say like bad dates. I've had dates with people I'm like, yeah, this ain't. we ain't this the chemistry is not there, the vibe is
Hmm.
not there, whatever. But just something like super duper crazy. Fortunately, I haven't I haven't had any situations like that at all, you know. So
Yeah.
that's a tough one.
Yeah. And the crazy thing was, I remember like a week or two before that, somebody had asked me, had I ever been on a bad date? And I was like, not really. The only thing I had before that was like somebody was as quiet as I am. And so the conversation was lacking. That's not, I don't consider that a bad date, but it's not somebody that I would necessarily go on a second date with. But that was a bad date. So yeah.
So how was it with the two introverts on a date? How did y'all
Introvert is not the problem.
how did y'all ended up being even like going on a date together then? Who asked who?
That's actually happened more than once. Being an introvert is not the problem because all introverts are not quiet. It's people get quietness, shyness, and introversion mixed up. They're all three separate things. So I've dated introverts and the conversation flows because most introverts do better one-on-one than in like group settings.
That's true. That's,
So
that's very true. That's very true.
actually one of my exes was probably almost as quiet as I am, but we talk, when we needed to.
Yeah, and
It was a comfortable silence when we weren't talking.
that's probably a good thing because I don't know if you're this type of introvert, but one of my homegirls, hers is more like a social anxiety. And I know this ain't you because you don't mind hanging around. You just ain't gonna be talking a whole bunch, but you'll be around, right? For her, that shit just makes her uncomfortable. Like, what do they call it? Her social meter like runs out. So she's like, I gotta
Yeah.
go. I'm ready to go. And there's two people I know like that. One in particular, like her shit is she'll be out kicking it, and you could tell she's trying to engage folks, and then you can just kind of like see it, and she be like, "All right, y'all, I gotta go," and it's like,
Yeah.
"All right, but make sure you drive, right? Cause ain't nobody finna just run you home because you that ran out and you don't have enough energy to stay around people." Whereas my other
Yeah.
homegirl, it was a Instagram reel, and it was like dating somebody who has social anxiety like me. Yeah, I don't want to go, and you don't want to go either. So let's lie and tell them we don't want to be there, or just say no, we're not coming. So I can see
Hmm.
how it'd be a good fit.
Yeah. I won't say that I don't get social anxiety. I do when it comes to people and situations that I don't know all that well. When I've had a chance to interact with people, it makes it easier for me to hang out with people. And also, unlike most introverts, I can shut a party down if I want to. Like I can be there till the lights come on, that's when I'm leaving. The
Yeah,
last person to leave, that's probably me.
yeah, you ear hustling and shit. Yeah, they be ear hustling on that phone while listen, like get that little ear cocked.
No, I don't. I keep telling you, I don't have to ear hustle. People just talk, and I mean, because I'm quiet, I'm not talking over them. I can hear everything they say.
Yeah, would you believe it that I'm somewhat of an introvert too?
Yes, because again, just because somebody talks, this doesn't mean that they're an introvert or extrovert.
Have
Two
you ever
totally
seen
different
those
things.
signs from me?
Yes.
Go ahead and tell it for the audience.
You do get irritated with people a lot, and you tend to like your space. Yeah, that's an introversion thing, liking your space and not wanting to be around people all the time.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, you got it right on. Yeah, definitely. I get annoyed real fucking quick. And I think that's growing up like a only child, even though I have brothers, a significant amount of my upbringing was by myself in the home with my parents. So I can be like when I'm extroverted, I'm on. I'm dancing, I'm hollering, all that. What's up, motherfuckers, and all this whole shit. But then if I don't feel like, you know, I like my own company. I think
Hmm.
like real extroverts, like they like during the pandemic, they were suffering
Yeah.
bad. Like I know like all motherfuckers in my house. I'm like, damn, can y'all just sit down somewhere? They had to be around. They couldn't just sit around. I had one of my homeboys call me and he almost broke down. He was like, "Man, I can't take it, man.
Yeah.
I'm struggling." And I didn't know what to tell him. Because, after a while it got to me. I'm thinking, how long did we have to like actually stay in the house? Was it about a year?
It was about a little over a year.
About a year they wanted us. It probably wasn't until like month 6 or so where I was kind of like, yeah, I'm tired of being in the house. I'm tired of being here. But a lot of that too was just you in the home with people that don't really want to fuck with you either. So that kind of makes it
Mhm.
harder too. But I was like, yeah, I'm kind of sick of being around here. I need to be around my friends. But
Yeah, I get that.
and that's the hard part about like me. I was lived far away from people, like my family and friends. So we had to travel to go see each other. And
Hmm.
during the pandemic, we just wasn't traveling. Did you thrive during the pandemic?
I was fine, but I was still seeing people. So, um, like I take care of my grandmother. So I still had to go over her house,
Hmm.
regular. And then I was seeing my mother and my aunts because we were,
Yeah.
taking turns with my grandmother. So
Okay. Okay.
I was still out seeing people.
You wasn't in the streets though.
No, 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 no. It wasn't in the streets. And then I was in a relationship at the time, so you know,
Mm.
so I was still seeing people.
And the pandemic fuck up your relationship?
No. Lies after my relationship, but it's all good. It's all good.
Okay. My bad. On that note, we're going to end it. Tell me where they can find us.
You can find us at Conversate After Dark everywhere. And if you would like to be a guest on the show or you have a topic you want us to cover, you can reach us at CVAD, the podcast at gmail.com. Make sure you like this video, share it, subscribe, and leave us a comment.
Yep, and go to our website, www.conversateafterdark.com. Listen to past episodes. We'll holler at you next time. Peace.
Bye.